Jesus,
jobs,
and food.
Hey, this is Lance with True Belize. Well, we've made it to Friday. Now let's see where the Lord actually led us. So if you remember, we're hoping that Partners for Belize would get that house finished up in San Ramon. We were planning to go out to Jacob's farm and hopefully remember the snacks that we had been forgetting for those guys. We have Connections, which is Mark Fulton's group, arriving in Belize. We have a house dedication. We are hoping that the ladies from Connections will be able to come out and do some retort canning with us. We have a birthday party for Desi, Mama Ella, and myself. And then we have basically planned a large youth activity to finish out the week with Mark Fulton's group Connections and the kids from Crystal Ray. Well, here's what the Lord actually blessed us with. On Monday, Partners for Belize, they were able to go ahead and finish up the house there in San Ramon. Natalie was able to do some work in the garden. She was able to plant some radishes. She finished picking the radishes in the garden. That brings us around to Tuesday. Tuesday was kind of a wild day. There was a lot of activity on the road. Natalie and I, we made it out to Jacob's farm. We were able to get some things ready for the dedication of the house. Wednesday started off the Connections ladies. They were with Natalie over at Rafi and Desi's. They made roughly 200 tamales. Now we broke that up. 100 of those tamales were used on Sunday for our youth activity, and the other 100 were actually used for lunch and blessing different families in San Pedro. The ladies were able to go out and give those meals to people. When they came back, they were really excited about being able to talk with the people there in the village and go ahead and help them in whatever little small way that they could. Wednesday, Keely was able to be a part of the deaf ministry, and she really had a good time. She was able to do that 2 days. She went to 2 different schools, went into the special ed classes, and was able to interact with those kids that have hearing impaired problems. She had a really good time. I'm hoping that we'll be able to get her to talk about that and share some of her experiences, but honestly, there's no real guarantee. She doesn't like to be on video, so we'll do our best on that. So Thursday, the ladies came out to the farm and they were able to they didn't retort can. What they did was they bagged up 300 pounds of black beans into 2-pound bags. They were able to go ahead and get sliced the onions that we were going to make an onion sauce with. Here in Belize, they slice up onions, habaneros, they soak it in vinegar, and they call that an onion sauce. So our goal was to slice up the onions that Oscar had given us to try to develop something to do with these wasted onions. They're the number 2s that would get left in the field, or some that were starting to have dark spots or not be something that he could sell. So this was one of the activities that we had planned to see if it would actually work. It did. Oscar was very happy with that. We were able to take over onion sauce to him. Now he's able to sell those instead of just losing that money. So on Thursday, a bit of bad news. Rafi took a spill at his house. He was doing something, trying to hang a picture or put a screw in the wall. I'm not really sure exactly what it was, but he fell, ended up fracturing his kneecap. He finds himself in a leg brace, unable to put weight or bend his knee for 6 weeks, which that went off without a hitch. John Kirby had teams coming from 2 different locations in Belize. Everybody was able to make it. The food was outstanding. It was kebabs, The family, they were just so excited to be able to get moved into their house. So things kind of changed. I ended up getting to fill in for Rafi and run things around as people needed things for the rest of that week. I was able to help Mark's group in whatever small things they needed. I was able to ask Rafi where things were and keep things going as best that I could. So on Friday, the ladies came out and were able to go ahead and retort can about 30 pounds of black beans. Now, one of the things that the ladies were able to do on Thursday was retort can chicken. Well, unfortunately, by Friday, we realized that a lot of the seals had given up, and so we're basically holding off on any more chicken or really anything that's really oily. Seems like that's where our problem is right now, is with the seal and the oil, and it appears to seal, but then once it goes through the retort canning process, we end up with not a really good success rate. So we're going to put that on hold for right now. On Saturday, Mark's group had a free day. They were able to go out to the Mayan ruins. Some of them went out to San Pedro Island or Kikaker. They ended up having a really good time. Everybody came back a little sunburned. Let's see. The girls and I ended up over at Desi and Rafi's for a birthday party. Mama Ella, Desi, and myself. It was really a nice time. There was probably about 30 people there, and it was just a nice time to relax and kind of take a break. Let's see, that leads us to Sunday. On Sunday, we had about 30 youth from Cristo Rey came out. We had, I think it was 25 or 28 of the people from Connections. They were here. We were able to eat. Well, the kids ended up playing in the Gaga pit. They ended up doing volleyball. We had a bracelet making. And really, as I look back at it, everybody just kind of had a really good time talking, whether they were talking to kids and looking at what they wanted to do, or the kids just grouping up and playing together, some of the adults talking together. It really was just a nice time to relax and get to know each other and what some of our interests are. Well, as you can see, God always blesses us with something new to do or something different to do. Tune in Monday to see where we think the Lord is going to lead us next week. If you like this content, please share the word.
Jesus,
jobs,
and food.